Hi, everybody. Welcome to the discussion after party. We're welcoming customer support and client success executives to a roundtable discussion about the use of AI in customer support. And I think we've got somebody who's going to kick us off.
All right, so James Johnston, I'm the Director of Customer Service with K&N Engineering. And we're, as a call center, and I use that term loosely because we handle phone calls, emails, account interaction, sales support, on and on and on. AI, at least to some degree, is really important. Otherwise, we would have more work than we'd ever be able to get done. One of the areas that's, at least at a basic AI, has been email management. For the longest time, emails would come in and it was one of 4 email addresses. And the problem is critical emails would sit in line behind generic emails that may not have needed attention or a lot of spam. So we came up with a lot of, at least from the beginning, a lot of different rules in Outlook and Microsoft 365 to start handing off or redirecting emails. It looks for keywords, phrases, sentences, certain email addresses, certain words in the subject line. And that's the first point. Based off that, it goes into skills-based routing. And we've opened up, instead of just 4 email addresses, we have 10. And each one focuses on an agent's skill set. So we have an email for new orders, an email for existing orders, an email for account support, for consumer support, for tech support, on and on and on. And even when the emails get routed to the right inbox, we add additional base AI to look at the email and say, hey, is this important? Is this something that needs to be done now? You know, is it a A1 level customer? Or is it somebody that's asking a mild question saying, hey, I see your item's out of stock. When is it going to be back? And so the combination of getting it to the right box, giving it the right priority, and even as far as getting it to the agent that can handle it the most effective way possible, we went from being able to average 3,000 to 4,000 emails a month with an overwhelming backlog to being able to effectively handle anywhere from 7,000 to 15,000 emails without much of a backlog carrying over between the next agents. Our next step will be an even smarter AI where it'll try to read the tone or the sentiment of the email and try to measure if it's somebody that's angry, maybe it goes to a supervisor. If it's somebody who's just really happy and they're raving about the part, that could go to a lead, but with a lower priority. And so that's kind of our next step. But doing that with email drastically changed the whole landscape, because now they can focus on the emails are faster. Now they can focus on the other projects and phone calls and stuff like that. So that's kind of the beginnings where we're starting with AI. Next will be, after that will be phone calls.
What are your volumes?
So we handle on average between 5,000 to 7,000 phone calls a month and between 7,000 to 15,000 emails a month. And right now we're currently staffed with 11 agents.
Oh, so I'm guessing it's like simple requests.
I would say a good majority of them, maybe about 75%, are simple. What do you make for my car? Is this in stock? What's the price? I need to do a return. The other 25% tend to go through the escalation inboxes, or they get escalated through the team. Those are the ones where, hey, I bought this and I'm having a problem, or I can't install this, or hey, I've got a custom hot rod. What do you make for my car? So those are the ones that tend to take quite a bit longer to answer, and those get routed into the very limited inbox that the more advanced agents can handle.
I guess that's why it works, because kind of with my volumes that are about 1,000 emails, well, requests a month, it's like it just doesn't work. It's just not enough. The deviation is too high.
Yeah. Do you know about what's your average email handle time?
Well, it's significantly more than yours, because kind of the nature of requests are more like a software related.
Oh yeah.
Kind of it's more, it can be coding, can be like voice over IP, like networking, some of the things. So we definitely triaging it on before that. And one of the things that benefits of AI that I would kind of envision if my volumes were like yours, is just answering the question, what is the most common request that customer asks? So how can I, because kind of if I know this information, I know how to treat it. I will like have a strategy in my head. Okay, so today I will, give an answer to this question. The next month I will check the statistic. I will give an answer on the other set of questions, and slowly we can eliminate all of the bottlenecks, or like maybe even product imperfectness by collaborating with product team and engineering.
That makes sense. We're hoping if we can get it set up when it starts actually reading the sentiment of the emails, is if it's a generic question we get over and over again, instead of it having to go to an agent, if we can actually respond with a, hey, based off your email, it looks like this article could help you, or this webpage. And if they still need help, then it coming back and going to an agent.
We do have that, by the way,
Okay.
and it's really, really nice. Kind of even I pay like nothing. I pay, I guess, like $50 a month, but I have a 2.5% of tickets resolved because of that bot, right? It's really, it just most small investment, but if you look at the bigger scale, like 2.5% among like 15,000 of requests, it's quite a big, it's maybe quarter FTE, right?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, definitely quite a bit more complicated.
Are there others in the group that have found applications of using AI technology in your businesses, or particularly, like James said, maybe directing it to the right teams, or kind of handling the repetitive tasks?
I've used AI primarily through the use of CRMs, and the two big ones being Salesforce or Zendesk, and I've used AI with both of them. I think in the end, like for whomever we're supporting, they just want an answer to their question as soon as possible. And I find that how they get that answer is less important than them getting it. And I think how I'm a firm believer of knowledge-centered support. So you have your CRM, you have your ticket base, which is really data. What type of tickets are you answering? From that data, you should create articles that are bite-sized. That first thing you go to it, you're not going to hit Control F. Someone can go there, they find the answer, boom. And you know that there's hunger for this based on the data from what the customers are creating with the tickets. And then from there, either through Zendesk, they have AnswerBot. You can have from using that at a company that I previously worked at, we were able to basically have an FTE based off of AnswerBot, and it was like a tier 0. They're answering the tickets that were rote, repeatable, that the team wasn't really excited about answering. So they got that off their plate, which helped with morale. But also part of what we do with the article creation is it becomes part of the function of the team's roles and jobs. So it adds diversity to their job. They're not just a ticket monkey. They're creating articles. They're working with different teams to do this. And then with Einstein Bot through Salesforce communities, we've used it in a very similar manner. We created a really good knowledge base based on the tickets that we were creating. And then from there, we enabled the chatbot as like kind of a tier 0 again to answer those rote repeatable questions. And that was really cost effective. But the one thing I love to caution about AI is, especially if you're speaking up about it when you're trying to implement, people think it's a magic thing that you turn on and then there you go. And I had I used to love in my decks when I was presenting and pitching this, it was a picture, I would have a picture of R2-D2, Obi-Wan, and Luke Skywalker standing together. And like the whole point of it was to say it's a combination of the human and the bot. Like there's maintenance you have to do with it. You don't just set it and forget it. There you have to interact with it, and you have to spend time with it, especially management time. And hopefully you can delegate that eventually. But that's something I'm looking forward to doing in my current role down the road. But I'm in the process of building to get to the point where I feel like we have enough of a base. And once you have the knowledge base, you can get those articles targeted within the product where the customer will get that error. And hopefully you're deflecting tickets then too. So you can get a lot of cost savings from a lot of angles.
I have a question. What kind of tools do you guys use? I kind of, Derek, I understand you use Zendesk and AnswerBot, but what about James?
So our main tool is the email platform itself. It's called Sentiment.io. It's a newer email platform that's connected through the phone software TalkDesk. And so that's what we're doing a lot of it with. They're a little bit newer. Our prior solution was absolutely horrible. And we moved over to them, and they've actually done really well. And because they're a bit newer in the email space, they specialized more in social media, instant messaging communication. They've been really open to a lot of different ideas and customizations and updates that we've had. But there's new AI that they're looking to implement. So we're hoping to use that for the next steps.
Thank you. I have to drop, unfortunately. I have another meeting in progress now. Thanks, everybody.
So yeah, so we'll wrap this up, and if I could just have Alan or Tom, you guys are an AI company, so tell us a little bit about some suggestions. There's been some fantastic suggestions in here, great dialogue from you and your purview with your clients. What are you guys seeing?
Tommy, you want to handle that one?
I would love to, but my mute is not unmuting for some reason. Yeah, we're very much in, I think the first thing I would like to say is that AI is not a one thing. We've heard from James that he's using it to route emails and handle some deflections. We heard from Derek, who said that they're using AnswerBot to be able to understand when there's a knowledge article that will help somebody. There's also chat bots and agent assist and all kinds of different things. But we're at Y Meadows, we work very much in the space that James is talking about. And we're seeing our clients getting a lot of the same kind of benefits that he's talking about, trying to take some of the ones Derek mentioned as well, take some of the less exciting cases, the more repetitive things off the plates of the agents. We've seen, anywhere from, 10 to 20% ticket resolution within the first 6 or 8 weeks. And people really like, it's like a quick win where you can just get some of that stuff and just scrape it right off the table so that you're not working with it anymore. And if that's, where you're working is in that written communication space, then there's a lot of options available now that really do great work with knowledge articles, deflection, enrichment. One of the things that we see a lot of excitement about is coupling the AI, which understands what the customer is asking about, with a process automation that allows you to go out into other systems and pull information into your case management or your email system and make it easier for the agent. Even when the robot can't resolve the ticket completely, the agent is able to have all of that context given to them and they avoid the swivel chair. So there's just a lot of opportunity in this space, and I think it's going to be really exciting over the next several years.
Excellent. Any last thoughts? Anyone wants to contribute before we sign off? All right. Thank you all for joining us here today. Tom, thanks for kicking us off, and we will see you all at the next Customer Support Brain Trust.